Hello everyone, welcome to another quick tutorial here about setting up multiple throttle quadrants and multiple setups for different aircraft. And I'll show you real quick how to do it by setting up I'm going to set up for twin engine and also for 4 engine. I'll show you how we do that. I have 2 throttle quadrants, really quite simple. You go to options, you go to control options. Right now we have the single engine loaded. There's also the default, which is pretty much one and the same. But I have single engine, I have the Harrier loaded, and an Osprey. I'll go over the Harrier because it is tricky. It's got to be done a very specific way or you'll have issues. But we'll go over that afterwards. But real quick, I want to go from single engine to twin engine. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and duplicate. Open the preset manager. We're going to duplicate this. We're going to change the name to twin engine. Change it to twin engine. Now we have a new profile. And because of no twin engines, we're going to have to go by, we don't want all signed, we don't want new, we want all. We're going to go down to power management. Place to start. Don't have to worry about conditions. Throttles. Here's where I think it's different. Because we're only setting up as a twin engine, so we need throttle 1, which is the first lever. And now we're going to add throttle axis 2, because we're going for twin engine, not multi-engine, twin engine, because it is different from multi-engine. So for twin engine, we're going to go ahead, it's already used somewhere else, we're going to go ahead and bind it anyways, because we'll go through and clear what it's bound with. Because it's bound for the propeller axis. We're going to go ahead and validate that one. So we now know our throttles are 1 and 2. Like it's throttle 2, throttle 1. So we know we got that squared away. Now we got that done. Now we have to go over to the propellers. And on the propellers, we're going to have to set, we're going to remove mixture axis, because we're not using it on this one. Clear that input, validate. And we're still throttles. We're going to go down to the mixture. Actually, I'm going to put that mixture back in, but that's on my other. Start scanning. I'm going to go to the mixture level, set it. Oops, sorry, we can't do that here. Sorry, we got to get out of here. Clear, validate, that's right. Can't do it here, we got to do it on the other quadrant because that's on the other quadrant. Now we got to go out, sorry about that. We got to try again here. We got to go down to, we'll get mixture after. We'll do the props. We'll do the propellers. Okay, first one we need is to do a propeller axis, which is all of them. We need to go in here, completely clear that, validate. Because we're setting up for 2 engines. Get the mixtures out of here, so it's just out of the way. Now we're going through propeller axis 1. We'll go ahead and start scanning, and that will be this one. Move the lever that you want to use. Validate. Validate's kind of saving it. Now for the mixtures, here's where the other 3 sliders are on a separate controller. The first 3 go with the yoke, the second 3 you add in go with a second quadrant. So now we'll go back down to power. We'll go down to mixture. No, excuse me, we don't want mixture yet, we want propellers. We're still doing propellers. Yeah, we're gonna, it still says mixture. We're doing props, not mixture. Why am I mixture? There's propeller. Okay, we want propeller axis cleared. We don't want all of them. And see, this is messed up because it thinks there's a lot of mixtures on there, but we'll skip that for now. And this is where I had it set up for third prop, so we're going to go ahead and clear that. Validate it. And we'll go all the way back down to propeller axis 1. We did propeller axis 1 on the other throttle quadrant. Well, propeller axis 2, we'll start scanning, move that one, and validate. Now we'll go up to mixture. I use only one lever for mixture. You can use 2, but I do use just a single because I have it set for, that's already set on the mixture. I use my other one for dive brake. It's I constantly leave it as that. I very seldom am ever going to need to set the mixtures separately. And that's it. Now I've set 2 throttles, 2 separate prop pitches, and a mixture. And we're all set. And what we do is we've got this now saved as twin engine. We apply and save. And now we have, up here we've got twin engine, default single, Harrier, Osprey, twin engine. And we also want to make a new one, so we're going to go ahead and copy this again. We're going to open Preset Manager. We duplicate it again. This time we're going to call it multi-engine for anything 4 and above. Or, yeah, well, we don't want multi-engine because 3 engines will get confusing. But we'll do quad. Okay. Now we're going to go back to the start. We're going to go to flight sim, flight yoke. We're going to go down to power engine again. Now for the throttle, here's where it gets freaky. Most planes, the left 2 engines are 1 and 2. So we want to remove this. Clear. Because we want throttle 1, which is the far left, joystick L axis, and we want throttle 2 on that as well. So we're going to go ahead and start scanning. It's going to tell it's already been used because we know it's there, but we want engines 1 and 2 to the left side on one controller. Then we want engines 3. Start scanning. 3 on the right side, on the right quadrant, and 3 and 4 on the right. Throttle axis 4. Start scanning again. Move the lever we want. We're going to go ahead and validate because we know it's been used. But this way now, 3 and 4 are on the right side. 1 and 2 are on the left. And you can go through and do the same thing on the prop pitches. Because one of the propellers is on the left side here. I don't know why I don't see it right here. Oh, because it's not open. So you got prop axis 1. Is this one. But we also want propeller axis 2 to be on the same one. Because we're doing, unless you got 4 levers, you can do it that way. But we're going to go ahead and start scanning. Make lever 1. Go ahead and validate it. Now we've got props 1 and 2 controlled by, which is the left side controlled by 1 stick. We'll go over here because prop 3 and 4 will be over here. Go to our power management. It gets a little confusing, but once you get the hang of it, it's pretty easy. Air propeller, we'll go down. So you're saying joystick L axis is prop 2. Well, we don't want prop 2. We want that now to be clear. We want it to be prop. Alright, totally clear, sorry. Clear and validate. We want 3 and 4 on the right. Come on. You're mad at me there, hold on. Clear. validate. There it goes. And we want propeller 3 axis on the right side. Validate that one, and we want propeller 4 also on the right side. Like I said, we'll get the warning sorry to bring used because we're putting 2 engines on one side, but that validates. Now we literally have the setups for 4 or 8 engines with 2 levers for the throttles and 2 levers for the levers for the props. If you're doing a 4-engine jet like the 747, you could very easily, because you don't have prop trims, is make 4 throttles, turn the right 2 prop trims into 4 engines. Or if you have a static prop aircraft that's very specific, you could do that as well. If you had a 4-engine static prop aircraft or 4-engine jet aircraft, you could easily switch those out. Now, I said I would get into something about the Harrier. Oops. Yes, we want to change. Now I go to the Harrier. What I did on the Harrier is the Harrier has to have a very specific map. And it has to be I believe it's prop trim, yes. It's a jet. You need prop trim for the nozzles. So the power management, propeller axis, not your prop trim, but it's the same thing. Propeller, you want your main propeller axis to be on a slider. Now what I did is, where'd it go? I reversed the axis on the propeller axis just because it felt better to me. It's a preference, but we're going to go ahead and save. I don't know why it didn't show it last time. We're going to go out, go back. But then when you're in here, you just pick your aircraft. Whatever, we don't have to worry about the weight. Yeah, we'll cut the weight down so we can go vertical. It's way too heavy. Good. Pick an airport. That'll work. Okay, now that we're loaded in, I'm going to show you a couple things that's very picky with the Harrier. One of the reasons I put it on a lever, which is my second throttle lever, is you can adjust the nozzles with it. It's almost a must with the Harrier. Trying to have it on a button doesn't work well. But having it a lever makes all the difference in the world. Now, the reason you make sure you have it set to a single engine, not multi engines with the Harrier, it literally treats every single nozzle as its own engine. And if you have more than one engine going, it can cause massive issues, which is part of what was the problems I had the other day. Was I had it set for a 2-engine setup at the moment when I was trying to fly it, and it was causing all kinds of issues because it thought it had engines 1, 2, 3, 4 and an extra 2. So it literally is how you change things up. And you can just, that's how that works. And like I'll show you real quick, the multiple engines. Okay, now we've jumped into a twin engine, but we're still on our old control thing and it won't work for this aircraft. So we're going to go ahead and go to control options. Just go to our flight yoke system. You don't have to keep doing all these. They're all tied through to the main one. Go to our twin. And we'll go back into the sim. Line save. Zoom. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to do the start on both engines at the same time. I'm going to do it on my dash so I don't have to fart around with it. All the settings. I got my starter here on the dash now. With it split, I can bring up one engine, left engine, bring up the right engine separately. Allows me to change the pitch on each engine. individually. So you can see that can come in very handy, especially if you're trying for realism flying or engine quits. You can control just one, you can feather just one. It works on the jets. It's just a great way to do it. And it's real simple once you get the hang of it, setting up the first one. Then you just copy your basics and then just change the ones you want to change. But that's it. It's really quite simple, and it's worthwhile to make a separate profile for each separate thing instead of just a single throttle and a single prop pitch. Because like I say, I can go 4 engines on a 747 and make them all engines, even though I don't fly them, but things like that. So there's a lot of options available, and setting up one for each individual type of aircraft or each individual aircraft. Like I say, I have a separate one for Harrier and a separate one for the Osprey because they have very individual controls. I'm going to set one up for helicopters here shortly, and that's about it. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. I hope it helps you a lot out along the way. And until the next one, have a good one.